So I know that this is an oracle. It's not something I've looked at for, I think since last year, actually, since November last year. So it's well overdue for an update. So I thought I'd have a quick look at it because it was one I was very, very interested in at the time when I first looked at it.
Yes.
And I do know as well that in a lot of the projects I've researched, those who've utilised an oracle, I think you're getting a lot more people choosing Umbrella Network over Chainlink at the moment, at least from those that I've seen. So it's definitely got growing adoption.
Right. Because at the minute,
but obviously it doesn't look like it's reflecting the token at the moment.
Yes, I was just going to say, it doesn't look like there's any really strength and merit to this. Doesn't look like it even wants to bounce. You know, there's a lot of like sharp wicks here showing basically sell pressure, and that sell pressure, it seems to be just consistent since pretty
continuing
much last year October. Yeah. So and is there any news or anything that the
not that I'm aware of, no. It's just something that I've added to my list to try and get research done in the next 2 weeks. So I thought I'd just have a bit of curiosity as part of my research to see what the price action is at the moment.
Okay. Right. What I can say right now on the weekly, it doesn't look peachy. As you can see, like this trend line kind of, I suppose it could draw a few more and shorter, but I think this one is showing well, you know, where the resistance points were, and you know where we kind of came down again, broke below it, and how it's actually a point of, like, you know, apart from this big wick, and I suppose here this one, you can see it was a point of rejection. So it's obviously just a matter of knowing where is it going to settle, because you know you can extend this line, and you can of course extend the support, you can bring it lower, and like, you know, it could potentially, like it did over here, came down to this apex, came down to this support, came to the apex here, broke above, obviously failed to go any higher, but this would be like, you know, an area then to keep an eye on what it's going to do, because it even didn't like do a retest of this support and trend line to give us higher. It didn't give the double bottom, it just rolled lower and lower. But again, if it is a new project, and I always say it, anything new like this, they have early investors. Those investors have their tokens locked, and usually around from 6 months, well actually depending on the project, but it could be 3 months, 6, a year, those tokens will be cyclically released, and it could lead to sell pressure, and could look like that on the chart. And then
definitely could. Yeah, it could definitely cause a big drop, couldn't it? Yeah, like that big dirty red wick there right by your mouse. Yeah.
Yes, and it just seems like, you know, there was some sort of a consolidation around this area, but obviously market isn't. And I can see, look, if people are holding this, and even early investors, if they're holding this around this area here, right? It was May this year. So if there is no like strength in the market, they're going to get rid of those tokens. They're not going to hold and hope for the best. Those that are holding might be already at a loss. You just don't know what price they bought it at, which usually, if it's a solid project, that information should be easily available. Those unlocking, there's actually a website, I think, that you can check. I'm gonna just real quick have a look for you, but you should be able to check it with the project itself, with their white paper. That information, you know, if it's secret, if it's concealed, it doesn't really sound well to me. Actually, yes, there is a website where you can check, guys. It's called token.unlocks.app. And basically it's tracking vested tokens before they get unlocked. So
what was that again, Mark? Did you say token.unlocks.app?
Correct.
Oh, okay, that's really useful. Oh, thank you for that.
Yeah.
I'm going to be using that quite often, I think.
So I'll make sure I have that link actually attached to the video as well, guys, if you want to check. I'm not sure does it have everything, but I think it's a good start. I have a few screenshots for July unlocks, and I can tell you that Metis, Gala, Star Atlas, Steppen, Merit Circle, Axie Infinity, 1H, all of those are on the list for July. Near Protocol, Near Pad, just Hedera, Osmosis, Osmo. The Vulcan actually also has unlocks, so definitely something to keep an eye on. Just trying to see. Actually, no, they don't have. Vulcan doesn't have one in July. They had one in January. They will have one, sorry, in January 2023. Well, yeah, it's very handy website. I may be wrong on some of them, guys. I just read from the token list of the screenshots, but the dates, not all of them have unlocks in July, but worth checking it out and just checking whether your altcoin is on the list or not. With the umbrella, yeah. I mean, I don't know, Milky, you said you're doing a bit of research into this, so I suppose again, checking out those unlocks, finding out what the token is doing, and DCAing with caution, basically waiting for market as well to maybe settle, because as you can see, Bitcoin right now is dropping and it will drag and bring alts down with it more harshly than some other big caps that we see around. And if you have an eye on something, just, I mean, it's very hard to determine where the bottom for umbrella is. Usually, you know, this is kind of in around, like you can see even here, like it is about 25 here. You could see now that around about a 2 cent was as well a bit of a consolidation point, so it was like a support zone, and now we're in around 16-15. So those round numbers, and they're called psychological levels, is where you might be looking for the next drop down to, so a 1 cent, and then I suppose with 1 cent you could expect, you know, another rounder numbers where it's what 0.00098, then that kind of way, because then those drops on the way up are much, give us more, I suppose, return than if we're in.
Do you have that indicator, Marta, that shows where the buying and sell pressure orders are at the moment? No. I can't remember what it's called, that indicator.
Hold on a second. I think I do. I think I have that indicator.
You know which one I'm on about, don't you?
Just give me 2 seconds. Is it open interest? Hold on a second. Might not show on this chart, on this coin. Ruben, if you're speaking, we can't hear you. No, it doesn't work for me. I think it's open interest, Milky. I don't know why it doesn't want to turn on.
I'm trying to find out what it's called as well, Marta.
Yeah, I think it only works on some coins, and this might not be on Binance. is Umbrella on Binance. So no, I don't think I do. I don't use that, Milky. Well, yeah, I mean, look, that wick here, this is already, you know, barely. I mean, we could potentially just obviously jump up here. This is a 4-hour chart. Give a nice bounce to maybe around the 50, a little bit higher to yesterday's high and pivot point 4, and keep rolling down, getting tighter and tighter. Market doesn't look great, doesn't look strong, so I wouldn't hold my breath now for any big reverses right now. Maybe small short trades are currently better than betting on something and putting in a lot of money and hoping for a big return, and this reversing and going to the moon. I mean, you have to risk it for the biscuit, but at the same time, remember your risk management and securing your profits.